Welcome to STARCARD Podcast. Here at STARCARD Podcast, we get a glimpse at the age of Aquarius ahead of us. We also examine the worlds of education and workplace ethics. My name is Breakaway Ray. I like talking about the breakaway civilizations because we're breaking away from the one we're in now, very slowly, generation by generation. But we're breaking away, so let's keep it going. You've tuned into a live tarot throw. Today is December 3rd, 2025, and I have two cards for you for right now. I got two tarot cards for you for later, so two for here and two to go. We're going to take a look at all the tarot cards that are available in case you'd like a tarot reading in the second part of the show. So let's hurry up, Breakaway Ray. Let's go to the tarot cam. See, I got my tarot cam back in order. Right on, everybody. Thanks for joining me. All right. So if you'd like a reading in the second part of the show, please go to the chat and type in all capital letters, tarot, please. And if any of these decks appeal to you, you can add that name. And if you have a specific subject, you can put that all in capital letters. It tends to be a little bit easier for me to see. I want to thank all my friends in the chat for helping me keep all the requests in order because, it's a team effort and I want to make sure I get everyone their reading. I also want to say that a couple of friends mentioned that they wanted the Neon Tarot yesterday, and I apologize to them. I missed the clue and I busted out the deck. So the Neon Tarot deck is available. There's also one called the Stained Glass deck. It's not far away. There's the Old Style Tarot. Delicious, wonderful images based on two classic tarot decks, and that would be these. The Robin Wood Tarot, which I've been practicing with because I've only been throwing tarot cards since March. And then this is a version of the classic tarot. This is the gold foil version, and this is the one that has the words on the card. Let me show you what I mean. Yeah, it's easy to learn tarot in a hurry when the words are written right on the card. I mean, the handbooks are helpful, but yeah, you learn right away exactly what message is being sent. In addition to these, we have the Lost Soul Tarot and the Ethereal Bloom Tarot, both fun for me to shuffle. And then finally, the Mermaid Tarot, another fan favorite. Okay, so let's reorganize everything here. Get right to your two cards for now, two cards for later. Oh yeah, Robin Wood. I want to thank, we already have friends in the chat. Good morning. Thank you very much for joining me. I appreciate your attendance, said the guy that's not working in the classroom anymore. No, it's great to have you here. We're all having a good time at StarCard Podcast, hanging out in the chat, getting readings, cheering each other on. I love it. I'm glad to be a part of it. Thanks for welcoming me into your home. Okay, so here we go, Tarot World. Let us have it again. Show us what you got. How about some fireworks? Let's give the viewers, whenever they're tuning in, right now, later on, weeks from now, months from now, years from now, let's give them the two cards they need to see for right now, whenever that moment is. And then how about the two cards to go, right? So one's going to happen first, and then another one's going to happen second. You'll see it. It'll fall like two dominoes. All right, first up, yay. All right. The tarot world's making it easy for me, everybody. Let me see if I can give you even a little bit more light there. All right, that's kind of cool. So you see we have the Ace of Pentacles and the Eight of Swords. I'd like to start with the Eight of Swords, which very simply in my mind, I match to one phrase, which is as much as you can imagine. As much as you can imagine. So the tarot world is saying to you on this morning where I'm from on the West Coast that it's a brand new day. It's a brand new opportunity, and you can make whatever you want of this opportunity, as much as you can imagine. So let your imagination be your guide. Take this present, this gift, this new day of life, and make something happen. Surprise yourself. How's that sound? All right, and now two cards to go. There's your meal. Here's your dessert. Nice. Look at the tarot world cheering us on. We have the Strength card, and we have the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords is defending his beliefs. He's very energetically charged. And look at the strength card, it indicates power. And part of that power is composure, right? Not letting your power seep away in all different directions, but channeling it in one direction, a direction forward. So we should put the guy galloping first. There we go. Charge forward energetically, everybody. Those are your messages from the tarot world. Thank you, tarot world. That was awesome. I'm going to give these a toss. Then we're going to come upstairs, and I've got 2 subjects to cover. But then in about 25 or 30 minutes, we'll be all ready for audience tarot. I'm helping you schedule your time here, everybody, in case you need to step away, take care of a household chore, or make it look like you're working in the office. All right. I got some notes, and I'm going to make sure I cover it all. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, here in the United States, as in some other countries around the world, unfortunately, we had the institution called slavery. And the 13th Amendment to the Constitution repealed slavery back in 1865 after the end of the Civil War. This is standard history. I know people tuning into STARCARD podcast already have like a parallel history about even as far back as the Civil War. I understand, but play along with me with my 3D memories here, please. All right, so it's 1865. President Lincoln helps end the Civil War and end slavery. And then, guess what? All the states in the Union have to ratify that amendment to the Constitution. And apparently the last state to do that was Mississippi. Now, I know there are very good people in Mississippi, but what I'm about to say relates to the legislators, the legislature, T-U-R-E, of Mississippi. These are the people that I first want to congratulate and then ask some questions of. So let me tell you the story. Mississippi approved the 13th Amendment prohibiting slavery in the 1990s. I think it was 1995. Now, I know this because in the 1990s, I was a 5th grade teacher. And I had students from more than one classroom in my room, and I was teaching a lesson. And I had come across, and some of you younger people won't understand this because there was no internet access for me in the 1990s. I probably saw it in the news or something, and I mean like a newspaper. Okay. So anyway, I found out that Mississippi still hadn't ratified the 13th Amendment, even though, the federal government says there's no slavery allowed in the United States. And I finally heard in the newspaper, oh, that's what it was. The Mississippi legislature finally ratified it, approved it. And then there were some kids in my class that weren't there. They were in another room. So during my PE period, now, a lot of teachers, at least the ones I used to work with, they are not going to sacrifice a single second of their PE period to do anything, above their job description, because they're busy trying to get stuff done so they can leave at 3 o'clock or whatever their deal was. But I knew that the kids that were in my room when I went over this thing, I had told them that Mississippi still hadn't, approved it yet. And now we had good news. So during my PE period, I went to the other 5th grade teacher's room and I told them all, well, hey, there's good news. Mississippi finally passed it. So slavery is officially outlawed in the United States. So that's something Mississippi should be congratulated for. Of course, it would have been nice had they done it at least 100 years earlier, 130 years earlier. Anyway, I found out before the program today, because I knew I was going to discuss this institution of slavery and compare it to what a lot of us are interested in, which is disclosure of our life and all the things that we don't see and all the ways that we are being manipulated as a society and a civilization. So anyway, I found out this morning that, in 1995, Mississippi approved it, but the Mississippi legislature never filed the papers with the federal government until 2013. So they kind of dragged their heels a little bit there. That was 18 years, I think. That is one generation. That's a whole generation where they just kind of put it on the table and they didn't do anything about it until, kids in school learning about it were already adults anyway. So I have a problem with that. But you know what? It gives us a perspective on what's going on with disclosure. even in the 1990s, we all knew no one's going to have slavery. There's no slaves anymore. Nobody does that anymore in the United States. If you want to imagine quotation marks around my words right now, that's fine. I know where you're coming from. Okay, but there's no slavery in the United States. Here we are in the 1990s. How come this state, how did it get past these guys? They needed to fix that. So I'm glad they fixed it. But it took a long time. But we all know that there's no slavery. No one would even try it, right? So here we are with disclosure. Eventually, we're going to be sitting around the kitchen table, and names as famous as the quarterback for the Kansas City Chiefs, Mr. Mahomes, for example, or even legendary names like Larry Bird. I'm talking about athletes, or think about some of your other favorite entertainers. I'm going to say, Johnny Carson, great entertainer, for example, right? There's lots of entertainers that we all know about. What we need to do is we need to have like a common vernacular history, a history among people. It's almost like an oral history. It's just passed among person to person. We're not getting it from institutions. The institutions are not going to give up what they got. So we're going to have to figure it out for ourselves, and we're going to have to pass it on. And it's going to take generations. In a way, it kind of matches up with the story of what happened with the Native Americans when people from the United States came across the continent and interacted and eventually took over their lands. You had an oral tradition, maybe even a written tradition, because a lot of those tribes had calendars where they would, keep a history and pass it on to their children. But, generation after generation, they would tell stories of the white man coming from the East Coast and blah, blah, blah. And anyway, watch Dances with Wolves. I like that part in the movie where the man telling the story pulls out the helmet of a conquistador, and it's like a couple of 100 years old. They're all, these guys are coming, and this is what they're wearing. So my point is, we spread our information around. We tell people about Tony Rodrigues and Penny Bradley and all the many people out there who are not just experiencers and survivors, but people who are telling their stories and trying to coalesce their information to tell us about this stuff. So we don't have to have a subjugated position here on Earth. We can ascend to the powerful species of humans that we're meant to be. They can't hold us back. So in any case, it may take several generations, but again, every day is precious. Every podcast is precious. Every chance we have to send this message out and make it like a topic you talk about at dinner or around the water cooler, okay? The less able everyone's going to be able to stand around and say, well, there's no such thing as a secret space program. Just like there's, no such thing as a law that says we could still have slavery in a certain state. Okay. You're not going to do that. You're not going to hold it from us. I hope you guys kind of followed my analogy there. It's just going to have to become common knowledge. And eventually whatever they say is not going to make a difference, which leads me again. I'm getting all excited. Maybe I had too much coffee this morning. The story about the end of World War II. That was a pretty shocking and emotional thing for someone who cares about learning like me to have a parallel different story about how World War II ended. Anyway, let's move on, Breakaway Ray. So thanks for letting me share those thoughts. Let me make sure I got everything on that message. Yes, I did. All right. So now I'm going to move on to a little bit of a different subject, and then we're going to invite the tarot world. How am I doing on time? I'm doing great on time. Okay. I'm going to move on to a different topic, and then we're going to invite the tarot world to comment on this next topic. And the next topic is finding a mirror. And I'm talking about all kinds of mirrors. Now, we're all familiar with the mirror that hangs on the wall. You can look in the mirror. It's probably not as exciting and dynamic as sitting on the couch and watching the big screen. But I'm suggesting, although I haven't tried it yet, I'm suggesting it's probably, in its own way, more gripping and more fascinating. I mean, think about the garbage that's on TV. Okay, so there's a mirror, right? And then maybe you've noticed, because I've noticed, like I say, I'm new to the tarot world. I'm new to throwing tarot cards, but I noticed that the tarot world does an amazing job of reflecting what's going on. And if you focus your question, you can get very precise information. You can get a very precise reflection of the thing that you're looking for. And the thing that you're looking for is on the inside. It's a spiritual thing. It's your energy, your aura, somehow interacting with the cards and all your supportive and protective energies that you're calling in, because everybody wants to send you a helpful message. They want you to do your best. They want you to have the best time you can so you can fulfill your mission as best you can while you're down here. That's what I keep telling myself. All right, so let me see what else I got here. So some people, they express themselves and their souls in music and in art. You could think of many of your favorite painters and artists and musicians and singers, dancers, performers, entertainers. Sure, I got all those. Okay, and then there's another way to reveal what's on your mind or use your mind in a way that you would with the tarot cards, except that you use pen and paper. It's called automatic writing. And in a way, you get your pencil going, your pen going. It helps, in my opinion, that you handwrite because you have one continued fluid motion. I feel like that's actually a different experience than printing. So anyway, automatic writing, you get your hand going. Maybe you start channeling. You make a request and of your own mind. You're asking yourself a question, and you see what kind of answers come out when you're writing all out. Maybe you channel information. Maybe you are a channeler. Maybe you're not. Maybe it's not your cup of tea. I'm a writer, so that's why I'm sharing about writing a lot on StarCard Podcast. And what I'd like to share right now, another commercial. Okay, so back behind me here, I've got the two books that I have published. Their links are in the description. This is the most recent one, Let's Go Off Planet with Breakaway Ray. And you see my pen name there, R. Snow. It's a pen name I've had since high school. I played Enoch Snow Jr. in the musical Carousel. I was in the theater. Yeah, it was awesome. Okay, and then right there is the Convoluted Autobiography, and here's my working copy. And again, there's my pen name, R. Snow. And so what I have in here is a neat exercise. There's a local newspaper, when they throw their newspaper in my driveway once a week. And they had a very clever contest. It was a 100-word autobiography. And if you can't already tell, I feel pretty confident about my writing. Now, not only did I miss the deadline, but I missed the deadline by years. And instead, this happened. It's not exactly 100 words, but I do have a 100-word autobiography, excuse me. And I'm going to share that with you right now. I called this chapter, you know what? We're going to go downstairs. You can see the book. Yeah, this is the book that I read from yesterday and felt good to me. I mean, if I have to read anyone's words, I trust Breakaway Ray to do a good job. So right at the very beginning of the book, I list all the chapters. I think it was divinely destined that the book does not have page numbers. That's a different subject. Anyway, here's the warning at the beginning of the book not to read the book. And then if you're still here, well, okay, here I go. So I tell about the newspaper contest, a 100-word overture. What would I say about my life? This was a couple of years ago. So I'm going to read it to you right now. Oh, here we go. Yeah, it's right over here. I wrote it out like it was in my poetry book from college. I got the number of words right there. All right. I'm turning it upside down. Let's see, how can I do this for you? All right. That's fine. We'll just do it this way. That's okay. Need a little bit of light. Yeah, this is fun for me. I get to perform my own writing. Never thought it would be like this. So yeah, carpe diem. Go for it, Ray. All right. What would my 100 words look like today? Yeah. What would my 100 words look like today? Man born on Christmas Day spends time trying hard not to solve the puzzle of existence. His life features comforts and blessings and none of the tribulations most humans endure. His dreams do not feature past lives, yet he has served up karma nearly every waking moment. With no significant other and with time running out, he explores dissociative identity disorder and takes naps. He thinks about writing an autobiography, and that's probably about as far as he will get. When he dies, all his stuff will get thrown out. Voila! Done with words to spare. So I think that's a neat challenge for everybody. Have you tried writing a 100-word autobiography? I'm sure your autobiography would look different from month to month and certainly year to year. But when you only have 100 words, you really got to choose, what is that epitaph going to look like, right? Helps you get right to the quick. Anyway, I invite you all to try writing a 100-word autobiography. And if you want to share it with me, I'd be so interested. The email address at StarCardPodcast is in the description. It's starcardpodcast@gmail.com. Thank you very much, everybody. So now we're going to invite the tarot world to comment on my little suggestion, my introspective exercise of writing a 100-word autobiography, an idea I got from the newspaper, right? Okay, here we go. Let's go downstairs and hear from the tarot world. Well, we're talking about writing, so I'm going to make sure I got some words here. So I'm going to use the classic deck, but you guys know I like this deck. Hello, God's Flow. I see your message clearly. Thank you very much for joining me. We're going to write that down. Good morning to you, Flix Love. I see yours. Awesome. Thank you. Well, hello, Safe Haven. Thank you for visiting. Yeah, we're going to take care of you. Oh, you guys are doing a good job writing it so clearly in the chat. Thank you very much. All right. This is for all people tuning in, writing 100 words and redrafting things and counting your words. That sounds like a lot of work. Breakaway Ray, is it worth it? Let's ask the tarot world. Okay, it's one way to access your inner self. Tarot world, you're invited to comment. You have the floor. How do you like that 100-word autobiography exercise? Yeah, I agree. They should throw tarot cards too. Because that's like throwing a ball off a wall. But anyway, writing is more like having a remote control boat on the water. Push it in the direction you want. All right, here we go. First up, the Hierophant. Very simply, it's the learned man. You want to learn about something? We're talking about the 100-word autobiography. Whose biography is more important than yours? Any elementary school child would agree with me because that's where their ego is at. Anyway, next up, sweet, the King of Wands. The King of Wands sees the big picture. Your soul is a big picture. Do you want to learn about your soul? You want to see the big picture? We're talking about the 100-word autobiography. Yeah, the Chariot says get moving on it because, it's going to carry you forward in your spiritual evolution. The tarot world's making it easy for me today, huh? Was that all that ringing in my head? All right, speaking of ringing in my head, here's the Five of Wands. Now, I got some magic to do with this card here. The Five of Wands talks about conflict and disagreement. Well, for sure, if you're experimenting with just writing 100 words, you have to choose your words very carefully. But also, where's my glass? Here we go. So the Five of Wands also talks about respecting differences, respecting diversity, and avoiding conflict, which I like. I know you got a little pause out of me there, but down here it says competition, rivalry, conflict, disagreements. Okay, so this could be related to, how many words you choose, but then you're also talking about ideas that are important. What do you want to pay attention to? So these could be all the ideas clamoring to make the final cut. All the players in spring training are hoping that, they get to stay and they don't get cut and sent back down to AAA. But in any case, let's look at the big picture here. You're writing and learning. You're getting the big picture. You need to go forward. It's going to carry you past this because you're going to streamline your concentration. And then, the Wheel of Fortune does talk about luck, but it does talk about fate. We all came down here for a reason, whether we want to agree with it or not. And if you want to find out more, start writing. If my purpose for being on Earth's surface was for blah, 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 then that's why this happened, and this happened, okay? That's how you can find out what your fate really has been all about. Yeah, again, we're trying to identify our higher self, the many facets of it, what's important, what keeps us on our path and keeps us going. great. I love it. Thank you, Tarot World. Nice cards. Love it. And I'm not quite ahead of schedule, but I'm happy to get right to the audience tarot requests. It's going to be fun. Thank you very much, everybody. You already made my day. Okay, so ding. So I like this camera better, and we're going to be able to see the names on the trees better. So let's see who we got going here. I mean, I got some from yesterday, but God's Flow. There you go. I'm just going to write your name on this tree. I see you say any deck. My pleasure. And thank you very much. And I know the Tarot World knows what you want to talk about, but I'm going to scroll through the chat just in case. All right, so I got God's Flow going on. Flicks Love. Hi, Flicks Love. There we go. You had a turkey, now you got a tree. Let's see. You asked for the gold foil. Got it. Gold foil, always a challenge. It's awesome. Thank you. All right, so Safe Haven, stained glass deck. That's my home field deck. That's the one like I practiced with way back in March. I'm all excited, but I'm gonna have to go over there and get it. Cool. Who else we got? Hello, Tennessee, Kentucky Bigfoot. Good to have you here again. Thank you. Let's see, who else we got? So far I see God's Flow, Flicks Love, and Safe Haven. And there's plenty of time, everybody. So yeah, there's plenty of time, everybody. So if I missed you, or you're just jumping in, you've subscribed for at least 5 minutes and you're ready for a reading, I'll keep checking the chat. But for now, we're going to get started with God's Flow. Here we go. Have fun. Okay, so cool. These cards are for God's Flow. I think this is the Tarot World's favorite part of the show, is meeting all you people all around the planet, sending you helpful messages. Using my body as some kind of sponge/transistor. It's a pleasure. Thanks, everybody. Whoa, God's Flow. You got some stuff going on. Well, that looks like good news to me. Let's get you 3 more here. All right, God's Flow. This is for entertainment purposes only. So these 2 cards popped out. The Death card indicates changes, it indicates endings and beginnings. And then I love this because it's followed by the 10 of Cups. It's a dream come true. So how wonderful for you, God's Flow, for the holidays. You get to look forward to the dream coming true, whether it's a beginning or an ending or both. Maybe this will give us a clue about where that's coming from. The 7 of Pentacles, it's something that we've cultivated for a long time. The Queen of Wands, it's something that we've enjoyed cultivating for a long time. This is the Zest for Life lady. She's determined. She's courageous. Oh, and the 2 of Pentacles tells about balancing more than one thing at a time. It's almost like someone's been saving up for a holiday gift, and you didn't know. I mean, there's no 7 of Swords indicating something hidden, but someone was doing it at the same time, and you had no idea. And then, bam! I unwrap the gift, and it's a dream come true. Anyway, God's Flow. That's a great story to take around in your heart all day. It'll give you something to look forward to. Congratulations. Thanks for inviting me to read. I'm going to give these a toss. I promise I will check the chat again in a moment. I'm going to do Flicks Love's reading. and then safe havens, and then we'll make some more trees. All right. Yeah, this is fun. Okay, let's get this up there. All right, the foil deck. Here we go, Flix Love. All right, Tarot World, here we go. How about a fun, helpful message for Flix Love? We all want to see the next episode in Flix Love's tarot mini-series. I mean, you're showing us how great her progress is. And anyway, thanks for letting us in on it all, Flix Love and Tarot World. Let's see what's happening in this chapter. These cards are for Flix Love. These cards are for Flix Love. A fun, helpful message for Flix Love. And we're going to put this one way over there. All right, Flix Love. Look at these cards shine. All right. First up, hey everybody. Today's a good day for a tarot reading because the Tarot World is giving out 10 of Cups cards. Everybody gets a dream come true today. How wonderful. It's a dream come true. Thanks for bringing that energy to the party, Flix Love. Next, oh yeah. Cool deal, Flix Love. It's the Sun card. Everything's going to be awesome. Everything's great. How much fun is that? All right. And then the Two of Pentacles has showed up again. We're juggling more than one thing. That's okay. We got plenty of altars. Everybody could pitch in and help out. The Six of Swords says, you know, you're not doing it all by yourself. The spirit world is guiding you from rougher waters to calmer waters. May not always seem like that, but think about all the messages the Tarot World keeps on sending you, including these right here. Everything's groovy, according to the Tarot World today. Oh. And then guess what? The World card suggests completion and arrival. So, I mean, I know my readings tend to be accurate, so I want to say congratulations. Of course, it's up to the person to determine how close and accurate I am. You know, congratulations. You did it with the help of the spirit world. Everything's groovy. It's a dream come true. All right. I'm scared to turn over this card, but anyway, it's the Queen of Wands. Oh, okay. I'm not scared. I mean, I shouldn't be scared anyway, but check that out. She's the one I want to see. The one who's being determined and courageous and brave and saying, I'm going for it anyway. Where is that motorcycle? I'm jumping over the Snake River Canyon. All right, Flix Love, thanks for bringing that fun energy to the party. I hope that was a fun reading. Cool. I must have like the coolest tarot interface to keep producing all these positive messages. It's awesome. Thank you very much for making me look good, Tarot World. Next up. Yeah. Safe haven with the stained glass as I drop my glass organite pyramid. All right, safe haven. Let me go get the stained glass. My pleasure. I totally dig these cards. But they were like, you know, they come out of retirement, make a guest appearance in the old timers game. Here we go. Thank you so much. Boy, it sure feels like the holidays with these cards out. Again, thank you very much, Safe Haven. Let's see, was I missing? Okay, All right. The tarot world knows what you want to talk about. I think the tarot world's also celebrating that I pulled out the stained glass deck. You have the Three of Cups. Check out all those ladies partying down. All right. So here we go. All right, tarot world. How about a fun, inspirational message for safe haven, please? Looks like you're determined to put a smile on everybody's face today, tarot world. That's great in the middle of the work week like this. Everybody appreciates it. For sure I do. All right, these cards are for safe haven. A fun, helpful message for safe haven, please. Thanks for inspiring safe haven. Here we go. These cards are for safe haven. All right, safe haven, let's have some fun. Peekaboo, I see the stained glass cards. First up, it's the Queen of Cups. I'm going to read to you from the book about the Queen of Cups. I mean, I know I should have it memorized by now. Anyway, no harm in looking at a book. Sweet. Queen of Cups. The universe is sending compassionate, nurturing energy using you or someone in your life as its vehicle. Support others and trust in your heart. And there's a note here about relationships. There may be a lot of love and encouragement filling the relationship. Listen to your heart and be empathetic as you grow your connection. All right. What a lovely card. I like the angel wings and the gold color. Yeah, you got to dig the stained glass deck. All right, let's see what else we got. That's only one card. That was like a highlight reel on a sports channel. The 10 of Cups. Yeah, woo. Hey, everybody. Put in your tarot request. The tarot world is giving out 10 of Cups today. The 10 of Cups is all about dreams come true. Let's get to the book. As long as we're celebrating the 10 of Cups today. Wow, holy cow. It's too funny. The 10 of Cups. A couple stands together with arms outstretched toward a rainbow of 10 cups. Two kids play at their side. The scenery is tranquil and they are happy. The love you receive from your family and friends are bringing you emotional bliss. Cherish these bonds and celebrate your success with them. And regarding relationships, it says the relationship has the foundation to be long-term or permanent. This may also indicate the start of a family. All right. Wow, great. Sounds like emotionally exciting and rewarding. I feel a lot of warmth. Saw that light coming through the stained glass windows. Okay, the Two of Swords. Someone's at a crossroads. Maybe not all the information is in, but this individual has two swords. This individual has all the tools needed to take any action necessary. But here we are at a crossroads. Yeah, what do you do after you, quote unquote, win the lottery and the dreams come true? What do you do? Well, the Page of Wands. Wow. That guy really looks like he's in the forest there. So the Page of Wands, let's go to the book. Page of Wands has a limitless perspective. You know, there's no limits to what he thinks he can do or where he thinks he can go. Not only that, he can see very clearly. Even in this very dense jungle, he has a clear view. But anyway, let's read about the Page of Wands. Page of Wands. The page signals a person who sees the potential and opportunities. He has a long-term vision, but may not have acted yet. Maybe all he needs is a plan. Oh, a new dream is shaping up. A dream came true. You know, what's the next dream I need to make happen? Okay, you're formulating a new dream. Great, a new path, a new mission, a new goal. Cool, go for it. The Four of Wands says it's a homecoming. Okay, family, celebration. And then The Nine of Pentacles says, enjoy the fruits of your labor. People are coming home for the holidays. It's going to be great to have them all around. You're going to have a great December, a great holiday season. Congratulations, Safe Haven. Thanks for inviting me to read. Thank you, Tarot World, for those lovely cards. Okay, so I am going to give these a toss and get back into the chat and see if there are any new requests for tarot readings. Here we go. Thank you. I got decks everywhere now. Okay, I have fun resorting all these after the show. Right. More Christmas trees. Who? Okay. Wow. I'm going to enjoy reading this after the show. All right. Okay. Hi, Ascending Universal Butterfly. And you want the mermaid deck. Okay. All right. One moment, please. Yeah, thanks for the help there, Safe Haven. I appreciate it, and everybody else. Hey, Lisa Talcott. Hello, Lisa. All right. Let me make a tree for you, Lisa. Great. All right, so what I see is that I got Ascending Universal Butterfly. She wants a mermaid deck, and then I don't think Lisa Talcott had a preference, so maybe I'll just draw what I want. Yeah, oh, I see it now. Ray's choice. Love it. Okay, so going to take care of you two right now. Thank you for inviting me to read. I appreciate it. It's great connecting with you, who and wherever you are. All right, here we go. Yeah, let's go with the mermaid deck first. All right, one moment, please. Isn't it awesome? I have to be one of the top unboxing YouTube channels. I'm always unboxing tarot cards. I mean, just by quantity, I'm like the Rob Khalil of unboxing cards. All right, so these cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. All right, Tarot World. We've got the very dramatic mermaid deck for you, and Ascending Universal Butterfly appreciates your messages so much. Thank you in advance for an inspirational, positive message, one that is helpful for our friend Ascending Universal Butterfly. These cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. These cards are for Ascending Universal Butterfly. I'm going to put this one over here on the side. Don't let me forget it. Okay. Cool. Let's have some more fun. Ascending Universal Butterfly. Let's put this right over here. Okay. First up, it's the Eight of Pentacles. It talks about working hard, and I would say working smarter, but not harder, but being determined, right? Being determined on a particular project or a mission. This is followed by the King of Wands. This is the guy that sees the big picture. He's also the one that overcomes obstacles. You're working hard to overcome a particular obstacle, perhaps. Wow. And, you know, I'm a big proponent of the old expression here in the United States, pulling oneself up by one's own bootstraps. And here's the Wheel of Fortune, which talks about fate and destiny, and it talks about luck. It also talks about cycles going up and down. So why I say what I said is, you know, you're working hard at something to overcome an obstacle because you see the big picture, you have a goal. And anyway, the card suggests that it's going to pay off. You know, you make your own luck. I would want to see the Three of Wands right now, because the Three of Wands tells me luck is where preparation meets opportunity. You know, you worked at it, you saw the big picture, something fortunate ought to happen. That's my opinion. Let's see what else happens. Ascending Universal Butterfly. Knight of Pentacles. We're talking about the guy that works really hard. He's the one that plowed the field and spent a long time doing it. I suppose we can go to the book, but there is obviously a theme of, you know, staying committed on the path that you're on, because you're correct. Anyway, we were going to read about the Eight of Pentacles from the little guidebook. The card indicates a time of focus and dedication to mastering a craft. With practice, you can become an expert in your field. I wonder if this card is the High Priestess. Nope, it's the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords. All right. With great power comes great responsibility. Was that out of the Bible or out of a Marvel movie? You know, once you get a view of all the things that you can do and how powerful you are, it could be like, you know, looking down off of a tall building. It could be kind of intimidating. Let's read about the Nine of Swords. An issue is constantly on your mind lately. Take this as a sign to better manage your mental health and get an objective view by talking to someone. Okay, that's what it said in the book. Those are not my words. Yeah, something is on your mind, but Ascending Universal Butterfly, you already know how to handle this. Watch this. It's the Six of Cups. Well, you know, it does sound a little bit like the book, you know, because the Six of Cups, you got kids playing together. And the book was saying, you know, go talk to someone. So maybe that is, you already have like a good support system. Not everyone may understand the path that you're on, but you have people that love you and want to listen to you and hope that, you know, good things happen to you. They want the best for you. And I would say, God bless you. And thank goodness you have people like that in your life. I hope that reading was fun and interesting. Thank you very much for inviting me to read. And thanks for helping me decorate my table. You are welcome, Safe Haven. Hey, you are welcome, Ascending Universal Butterfly. Cool. Now, yeah, Lisa Talcott's turn. Here we go. Thank you for your message, Ascending Universal Butterfly. I love it. That's great. I'm happy I can help. You have no idea. Okay, and Lisa Talcott. Here we go. Hey, there's still plenty of time, everybody. If anyone wants a reading, maybe you could drop it in the chat now. By the time I'm done with Lisa Talcott, you know, I'll know whether or not I'm closing up shop for the day. But it was a great pleasure coming out. It really motivates me to want to come out again. All right, these cards are for Lisa Talcott. These cards for Lisa Talcott. Yeah, you just got one right there. Oh, I'm sorry, you got two. All right. I wonder what those are. Oh, remember, Lisa, you're the one where I like mix the cards up, because I just noticed like I'm dealing the cards all out of order. Like the bottom deck showed up over here or whatever. So I'm going to leave those two alone, but yeah. Okay. All right. You want to tell me which one it is? All right. Whoa. You just got a bonus card. We are not messing around. All right, here we go, everybody. First up, it's the Six of Cups. It's nostalgia, happy memories. How about a reasonably happy childhood? That's pretty cool. Next up, it's the Four of Wands. Yay. It's homecoming. Look at all the lights are out for the holidays. Yeah, look at how much fun the kids are going to have. They're all going to have 6 cups. Wow. The Nine of Wands would be the person who knows how to host a holiday party. This person's hosted them before, knows what games kids like to play, has great ideas for a Secret Santa and gifts to pass out, a little swag for the holiday party. Yeah, and then by the time that person's done throwing that party, everyone's going to say, that person is as magical as Santa. What a great party that was. Oh, there was like confetti everywhere. It was cool. Hope she throws a party again this year. All right. Now, these are the 2 cards that popped out right away. The Five of Wands. But hey, guess what? I picked it up upside down. Yay. All right. Everyone has a good time, even though sometimes we don't all get along. We don't always agree on everything, especially during the holidays. Everyone has their own opinions. But you know what? We're having such a good time. We can all forget about our differences for a little while. And then the King of Swords says, that's the truth. Could anyone in the tarot deck look more like Santa? And what's this guy jumping out over here? Yay! The tarot world is giving out 10 of cups, everybody. It's a dream come true. Way to go, Lisa Talcott. What a great story. Wow, I'm getting chills. I don't know if it doesn't look like anybody else asked for a reading. I think my face is going to break. I'm smiling so much about everybody's 10 of cups. I got to pass out 10 of cups all around the planet today. I've had a complete day. All right, mission accomplished, everybody. See you next time on StarCard Podcast. Have a good day out there. Thanks for joining me. All right, have fun. Yeah.